Welcome back to Apoxtate TV. I am your host today, King Nebuchadnezzar. And if you are new here, welcome once again to Apoxtate TV. Kindly like, share, and subscribe if you are new, as I've said, because I will be dropping you a crazy lot of information regarding things that are hidden from us in plain sight, in movies, on the news, on billboard, on advertisement. We are hidden information of the occultic world everywhere. And on the series which I am doing a reaction video on today, which is way back to the future. Sorry about that. Back to the Future series, which I'm doing a reaction on. It's this is the volume 2 of the series, which I am doing a reaction on. And this series particularly is talking about Satan and what is Satan and the energy of Satan and how the elites and the ruling powers that be are using this energy. So sit back, relax, and enjoy.
And it was kind of a nationwide event with different exhibits and things going on at air and space museums and everything like that. And then the centerpiece, of course, was this Go for the Moon presentation in DC, which they played several times a night, 2 nights in a row. It's like this 25-minute production, which I've kind of been dumbstruck ever since I watched it the other day. Just absorbing the bizarre and yet like in your face exclamation point to so many things that just watching this, it's like I just kept watching it like going, okay, this really is real. This I mean, my goodness, this is an occult ritual embodying the original occult ritual from 50 years ago, and then like condensing that whole era into this 25-minute spectacle, which is like this roller coaster ride of emotionalism and sound clips and sound bites and images, and you just like everything you're looking at is occult symbolism, is archetypal conditioning, and I mean, it's mind-blowing. You're watching this this presentation where there's the screens on the sides showing like just tons of clips of the astronauts and everything, but in the center is the Saturn rocket projected onto the Washington Monument, this giant obelisk. I mean, it so embodies exactly everything you see Kubrick really showing in 2001: A Space Odyssey with the obelisk, what all of this represents. This whole picture of, it's all about transcendence. Transcendence through technology, right? That's the message. And you watch something like this and you're like, how do people still try and deny that science is a religion? I mean, it is so in your face. At the end of it, so they do the whole history of, building up to the launch, and there's like this countdown clock, and it's the stages of the rocket. I mean, the whole thing is symbolism, is esoteric symbolism. Everything about Apollo, every photo you've ever seen is a type of programming, is a type of initiation. That's what the whole thing is. This whole event in 1969. And people always ask, well, why would they do this? Why would they go to all this trouble to fake something like this? And it's like, they're telling you now all the time, or we're telling ourselves. It was about this change in consciousness of all of humanity.
As of 1969, when the Apollo claimed to land on the moon, the so-called white supremacists, which I don't call white supremacists, what they were doing back then, because they don't have dominance the way they have dominance today, as of today. So they're using the television screen, which they have created for the whole general public or for every home to have TV and the radio to control the mind of the people. So then the people think, or the people used to, what back then were thinking that the so-called Caucasian race really landed on the moon. So that was what they were just trying to do, to create a mind-controlling event. So, everything, whatever ritual people do, it's whatever people and ritual they put out there on TV for you to see, even though we don't recognize some of these things that are rituals. It's for us as individuals to accept it, to consent with whatever they do. So when they do all these things, we consent to everything directly or indirectly. So that was what was going on. We were consenting to all their rituals.
And that's what they always talk about, even though, it was this one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. It was this united, or one human race accomplishing something, even though the entire build-up to it was predicated on beating Russia to the moon. And yet they get on the moon and nobody's talking about, well, good thing we stepped on the moon first and beat the Russians, because that was what this was all about. No, it was this victorious achievement. It's this pinnacle achievement. That's what going to the moon, go for the moon, because going back to the moon.
For some of you who are aware of history, the Russia are the Nazis. And the Russia, they used to be dark. They used to be dark. The last king of Hawaii used to be dark skin. And these are Russians. So that's why there's always competition between them, the Caucasians and the Russians. And that's why they painted the Russians as evil people to us. Remember during the election which Donald Trump won, they were claiming that the Russians helped Donald Trump because of the build-up to the current events that is taking place today. So we need to all be aware of what's actually going on right in front of us.
And creating this Artemis program, where first we're going to go have a moon base and or have like a smaller space station that orbits the moon, and from there we'll use that as our launching pad.
Through Artemis, the twin sister of Apollo, we are returning to the moon. Artemis 1 will be the first flight test of each of these components. United together, this is the first of Artemis's arrows, capable of ushering in the next chapter of human lunar exploration. With each component playing its part in a grander effort, we, the people of the Artemis generation, all around this beautiful world, will bear witness to what we are capable of. Together, we are going back to the moon.
For Orion and stuff, or manned spaceflight to Mars, and they're talking about 2024, and it's nuts. The whole thing is nuts.
Okay, Yahweh. This is another word which we are not aware of. That this sound is the sound of God. So he's going to be discussing about this. I don't want to talk much regarding that. So he's going to be going deep into that, just trying to make you all I'm trying to make you all to be aware that whenever you use the word or emphasize, whenever you use the word ha, it means Allah, God, or anything you believe that is from of supreme to the whole universe.
The sound ah is a portal to higher consciousness. Human beings who seek God will look to the stars. This causes an elongation of the throat and vocal cords, a position conducive to producing the sound ah. Ah in Hebrew is aleph and hey. Aleph meaning the most high or divine. Hey means the window of the breath. Ah means the window of the breath that lets in the divine. Perhaps this is why meditation masters claim that meditating on the sound ah connects one with spirit. Ah is the sound we make to accept medicine. Medicine flies under the flag of the caduceus because it originates with medicinal and theogenic drugs that caused spiritual journey. Reaching higher consciousness means reaching higher states of awareness. Every time our consciousness grows, when we become more aware of something, we say, ah.
The dust we shall return.
Even when thinking or speaking about divinity, we are forced to say ah, because the word is ingrained in all of our words for God. Laughter, our greatest expression of joy, is an experience of spiritual growth. That is why laughter is pronounced ha, 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 ha. More recently as LOL or LOL. Ha 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 LOL reflects perfectly Jehovah Elohim, both gateways to divinity or joy. Humans intuitively understand that laughter is the best medicine. Higher consciousness lies in the...
You all can recognize the symbol or symbolism behind everything, every words, everything we do, everything we use. There are symbols in everything. Lol, LOL. Can you imagine? That's God again. There's God in everything. Even when you look at the doctors claim to be the God. Yes, when you look at it in African culture, the people who served as a God back in the days were the traditional healers or the spiritualists, the people you go to help you see your future. But today, who are the holistic people we go to? The doctors. When we want to come to life, who bring us to life? The doctors. When we want to live this life, who help us to the other side of the world? The doctors. And when we're sick, something that has to do with the spirit, who do we consult? The doctors. So we gave power to the Caucasians. And how did we? We consented to everything. Everything.
Stars. Looking at the stars forces us to say ah because of the position of our neck and throat. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is the search for an artifact that grants powers of Christ. The men encounter a white rabbit, then enter the rabbit's hole, where they find writing on a wall by
Joseph of Arimathea,
who tells them,
find the Holy Grail in the castle of...
triangle, square, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nanogon, decagon. One of these shapes is not like the others. The O in octagon is pronounced ah.
Since ancient times, the oval has been a symbol for the womb. And apparently, even the little green man in the UFO spaceships know this. And look how there's a circle in the oval, just as on the lawn where the Washington Monument is standing, exactly like that. And the obelisk is a phallic symbol, and as it is carved on top, it is the symbol for the circumcision, an old pharaonic tradition for the slaves, and a covenant with Satan or Satan. This is the symbol for the pharaonic warfare. Mix first with the obelisk in the oval, the womb, and fight the enemy from within as a virus and strike unseen as a horned viper, being the satanic hand. And to do so, they had to take over all key positions in society, like we see here. And they look like us, they talk like us, they speak like us, they behave like us, or almost. We can't recognize them anymore. And the enemy within is very real. They fight us from the inside out. They are the real
They look like us, they talk like us, they act like us. We don't even recognize them anymore. Who are they? Who are they? Who are they he's talking about? These are the reptilians that are ruling the bloodline, the royal bloodline. I can't say too much. Do your research on that. Don't take it from me. Do your research on that if you don't know this information already.
Arrows from Egypt, the Per'a. So when Clinton, Monica and the cigar had that triangle affair going on in the Oval, the enemy within of pharaohs and masons knew exactly what was going on, that the message was classical AIHS stuff. Watch ISIS behind.
This is a symbol, this picture right here. I mean, this photo right here. This is a symbol. Bill Clinton sitting with his wife with a cigar on his thigh or sitting on his leg. This is a symbol, a very occultic symbol. The cigar alone is an Asian symbol.
Where a cigar played the obelisk and phallic symbol. Clinton for Osiris, Monica for Isis, and the Oval Office for the womb. And the ictus. Go and multiply yourself, the pharaoh and the cigar said. Because the carved top is the phallic front, so penetration has indeed succeeded. And for the worldwide royal Per'a community, it felt indeed as being set back 4,000 years ago at the royal court at the River Nile, with all the wonderful stories going on with cigars and such. So here you can see Muslims throwing stones at an obelisk, and the pharaohs, I hope. This is very nice, I like this. But what Mecca, St. Peter's Square?
This is an old image of Mecca, and most of the people we see here are dark-skinned people. These are dark-skinned people. It shows you that the ancient Islam are dark people. These occultic, Masonic, the symbols and things they put out there. These are your Asian culture. They are your Asian culture. All the Masonic symbols, signs, whatever thing they put out there on the TV. These are your Asian symbols, and they are living off them. That's why they demonize them, and they are using them for bad things. You can use energy for both good and bad, but they are using this energy for bad things. Since they've been ruling, they've been warred all over the world. They've been warred all over the world. They've been earthquake because they know how to manipulate the energy. These are science. These science, our Asian culture. That's why you see 80, most especially, is the land they like to perform that kind of dark magic on. That's why there's always earthquake in 80.
The Vatican and Washington, America, have all in common is the obelisk and the oval, as these pharaohs rule the whole world, all peoples and all races. So this is what the obelisks in the Vatican and in Washington have in common. They both portray the full act of penetration inside the oval. just as outside on the lawn the obelisk has penetrated the oval of the Vesica. And even on the Muslim Kaaba, the oval of the mother goddess and probably Isis can be seen in Mecca. Ka is pharaonic for the soul when still alive, and Ba after death, like Kaaba. And when Allah stands beside it, it becomes Kaaba-la, the Cabal. Well, this looks like the hand sign Mrs. Merkel makes, doesn't it? And if you cross Upper Egypt from the pharaohs, from Amarna, and you cross the Red Sea, well, you get in Mecca immediately, which is a harbour town. So, what can I say? So if you see
An ancient time, Mecca today was in Africa, which is in the Middle East today, the so-called Middle East. All these regions were dark-skinned regions. All those regions were dark-skinned regions. So these are your culture. Remember, always remember that. Always remember that back in the days when we used to be empires, Songhai empires, Mali Empire, Ghana Empire, Morocco Empire, which today all our land is still Morocco, because the last empire that fell was Songhai Empire, and Songhai Empire fell to Morocco. So we are Morocco, the most extreme west, a Maxim. So these are all dark region. The whole America today, which you see Caucasians everywhere today, even though they show mostly Caucasians on TV, but the land is a dark-skinned land. All this land are dark-skinned people land, and they were mostly Islam. The Ghana Empire I called now was called Islam. They were Islam. Sorry, I said they called Islam. They were Islam. All these empires. That's why you see they demonize Islam. This is the reason why they made Islam a religion of terrorists. It's because they're living off your information. They're living off your wealth. Wake up, Africans. Wake up.
politicians like the German Merkel doing the oval with her hands, then you know where that's from. It's the symbol of the Sisters of Isis, where the name Switzerland is from. See the Pharaoh show. Moreover, considering that Mur or Mer in Merkel is the pharaonic word for pyramid, and Kel used to be Ka, the soul, as in Merka or Merkaba, almost like America, where there's a big obelisk in the oval. So let's all unite, mankind. We have no choice. Forget about religion and race issues and get rid of these pharaohs together. So here we see a crop circle showing the Swiss cross. Now what are these crop circles warning us for? Maybe that the pharaohs have their base in Switzerland. The Washington Monument obelisk, the phallic symbol.
Back in the days, you know, the Caucasians, before they came into power, they used to fight each other. That's why they still war today. Do you guys know why they fight each other? The Caucasians fight each other because they don't have land. So they needed a place to claim. So they need to fight each other all the time for a small portion of land, which they just had before they came together. But still, all these things going on, it's a spiritual war. This is a spiritual war between Leo, which you call Leo, and Anu, the Anunnakis. It's in the Bible. You have it in the Bible. These are the stories of the fallen angels. But the interpretation of it in the Bible is different from the ancient way of our ancestors. That's why they have to remove some book, like the book of Enoch, the book of Joshua. We're talking about spiritual things here, man. This is deep, family. You almost wake up and study all those Masonic things to understand the reason why your government can't do anything. Because your government are not meant to do shit for you. If they do it, they're going to kill them. Yeah, they're going to kill them. And the government are not meant to do anything because it's your job to do something. How can the government, like let's say Nigeria, for example, who did not even show off the population, which I'm sure there are 300 million people on that land. You expect a government to provide for 300 million people. Are you sick in the head? You must wake up, people.
And symbol of the pharaonic domination, standing within the vesica, as in the logo of the Olympic Games, MasterCard, Gucci, Coop, Swiss supermarket, Audi cars, etc. This is a Freemasonry symbol, the two circles with the obelisk like in the middle. MasterCard. See the Pharaoh show and the Octagon series for more. Audi, the Illuminati car from Ingolstadt in Germany, where Adam Weishaupt came from, and many others. Octagon in Rome, with a real obelisk, a real Egyptian pharaonic obelisk in the middle. So this is where the Swiss rule. Octagon, the Swiss Pope's guard, they rule here. Octagon. See the Pharaoh show and the Octagon series for more. Octagon, St. Peter's Square, Vatican. This is where the Swiss Pope's guard rules. The Octagon rules here.
In the 16th century, during the sack of Rome, 147 members of the Swiss Guard were killed, saving the life of Pope Clement VII. The Guard has been protecting...
I'm going to be handing today's series of Back to the Future in this on this side, on this I'm going to end it right now on this particular time, because I see you will spend about 30 to 40 minutes on this particular segment. Well, I'll be going deep into this again tomorrow when I drop the next segment. And if you enjoy what you've seen today, please like, share, and subscribe, because there are more deep things I'm going to be talking about. And I'm going to be talking about your nationality and how you can become an Aboriginal, which is the highest status, which they don't want you to know about. And that's the reason why they're all fighting over your estate, your land. Thank you for watching today, and have a beautiful day. Peace.